A battle for a top 4 seed in the AAC didn't go as planned as men's basketball falls to the Bearcats in overtime.
Despite the loss, Damian Dunn picks up a milestone, not to mention a conference award.
I'm Vartan Sarkisian, and I'm live at TU Pavilion. And I've got a story on a Temple tennis player who's putting together a win streak that would surprise even the most avid fan. OwlSports Update is live, and it starts right now.
Hello and welcome to a new edition of OwlSports Update. I'm Matt Rainier.
And I'm Meg Doyle. We have a lot to cover today, starting with men's basketball. 2 games in a 4-day stretch as the Owls inch closer to the AAC Conference Tournament. We'll start off with a trip to Cincinnati.
The Bearcats and the Owls are fighting for that 4 seed and a first-round bye in the conference tournament. Temple scores first in this matchup, but Cincy, it doesn't take long for them to respond. Micah Adam Woods at the top of the key fires from downtown to take the lead. Later on in the first half, the Owls now trailing by 2 as Sear Miller works and then dishes it inside to Zach Hicks for the easy layup to tie the game. These teams went back and forth all night long, and here they are once again. David DeJulius fires from deep, drilling the long 3 over Damian Dunn. Temple does answer to push this game to overtime, and in OT, a memorable night for Damian Dunn, again driving inside for the layup off the glass. Dunn finished with 34 points to push him over that 1,000-point mark for his career. Later on, just a minute to go, Landers Nolly Jr., he's going to cash in the mid-range J, and that is the dagger. Lots of offense for the Owls, but the Bearcats also shot lights out, getting the win 88-83.
For our side of it, you will hope that that's the case where you're getting better as the season is going. You know, we got off to a good start. We made some shots, and I thought we had a good offensive rhythm going. But those guys made some shots as well. Ideally, probably not. I would like for him to be able to do so, but I just like his poise. He was great throughout the game, and that's what we pretty much is going to need from him. Along with some of the other guys.
That was Coach McKee talking about needing Dunn down the stretch, and he got just that a few days earlier versus Tulsa. Temple starts off strong with a 3-pointer from Nick Jourdain. Damian Dunn follows with a jumper for his first points of the game. Tulsa responds with a 2-pointer in the paint. Now in the second half, Jaleel White misses the layup but grabs that rebound and secures the 2 points. With Tulsa falling behind, the Golden Hurricane finds the net for a jumper, but that just isn't enough as Dunn sinks this 3 to put the Owls ahead by 21 points. Temple takes the win over Tulsa 76-53.
We just try to come in here really as best as we can and just play as a collective on both ends of the floor. We have our moments where it's sporadic. That's not really always the case, but we just try to find ways to just steer each other back into center ground and just play together. And I think today was a good stepping stone for us to getting back to playing like ourselves again. So we just got to keep it rolling in the year.
It's a big week for one Big 5 player of the week, Damian Dunn. Dunn received his 3rd Big 5 honor for the season. In the Tulsa game, Dunn scored a game-high 24 points, which helped the team out of its 4-game losing streak. And then the Cincy game. Dunn topped himself once again, scoring a game-high 34 points. Overall, Dunn is second on the team in not only scoring, but also assists and field goal percentage. If that isn't enough, he leads the Owls in 3-point percentage. And the big week got even bigger with his Wednesday night milestone. Dunn becomes the 55th player in program history to break the 1,000-point plateau. He's officially at 1,008 and counting with still a few games to go this season.
Against to take on the Houston Cougars, and they're looking to avoid a 4-game losing streak. Houston started the scoring right away with this three-pointer from Layla Blair. This started a 13-point run for the Cougars to open the game. Temple looking for an answer, and they get it. Brittany Garner with a nice spin move inside to earn the Owls their first field goal of the game. This shot plus several others tied this game at 16. Second quarter underway, and Brittany Garner once again making her presence felt, fighting through defenders for the layup to tie the game. Later on, the game is close, but not for long. Brittany Oneje knocks down the three to pull out in front of Temple. Down by 10, they were trying to hit some free throws down the stretch, maybe try to tie this game up late, but it went for naught. Houston takes the win 56-48.
The women's team also lost on Tuesday at UCF 57-53, dropping its record to 10-16 as part of its 5-game losing streak. This past weekend was an especially difficult one in the Temple community as we mourn the loss of one of our own police officers. Chris Fitzgerald was shot and killed Saturday night in the line of duty. This tragedy has shocked the entire Temple community, including head coach Aaron McKee. Still, after the Tulsa game, McKee touched on what he believes is the unfair perception of how this overall increase in violence overlaps with the Temple community.
It's difficult. I get upset a lot of times personally when North Philadelphia in particular is in the news. Temple University is in the news. A lot of things happen that's in the proximity, but it's not on campus, but they say Temple University. There are things that happen in West Philly and other places where there's other schools. You never hear them mention those schools, which I think is unfair.
A vigil was held Tuesday at the Bell Tower for all students and staff to attend, and there is a Thursday night viewing starting at 6 p.m.
We'll be back after this. When Temple athletes graduate, they go in so many different directions. But one former lineman stayed home, making his career affecting change in Philadelphia. I got the chance to speak with Jeff Whittingham about his work with the city's young children.
I always have this saying, AC raised, but I'm Temple made.
This is Jeff Whittingham's motto. When the former Temple lineman graduated in 2014, he knew this combination could incite change. Jeff started his own free jiu-jitsu program for kids called Growth, Love, Success.
My main goal is to give the youth an outlet. They're not really heard or understood, so that's where I come in and try to give them that hope.
According to the city, homicide victims under the age of 18 have doubled over the last 7 years in Philly. Jeff's program is trying to help curb this trend.
It truly gave them space and freedom to be themselves without fear of judgment, without fear of being assaulted, honestly.
And that's just part of Jeff's story. He's also the Dean of Students at Universal Institute Charter School in South Philly. Here, he promotes a positive environment.
I think life is more than just working and looking good for others, just being happy.
Jeff hopes to build his program into a center not only for the youth, but for the community by offering basketball, jiu-jitsu, homework help, and just a place for kids to be kids. This alum embodies what the T in Temple means: strength and positive character.
I respect my fellow peers. I will follow directions.
Setting an impressive example for the youth in Philadelphia. This alum looks to continue educating kids, especially with gun violence in Philly on the rise.
Whittingham's old team has its schedule set for the fall. The Owls will open their season against Akron on September 2nd and later that month taking on the Miami Hurricanes. Before beginning conference play against one of the newcomers to the AAC, the UTSA Roadrunners on October 7th. The Owls will also face off against new additions to the conference in North Texas and UAB, while also facing off against SMU and Navy in back-to-back home games before wrapping up their season against the Memphis Tigers on November 25th. For Drayton, this upcoming spring practice season will be vital as the team looks ahead to the fall.
We're just kind kind of just trying to, not kind of, we are getting around our football players, harnessing relationships. We got a lot of new faces that are on our team right now that we got to get to know them. I think there's a time and a place in the spring that we'll start to kind of really tap into that, looking at our opponents. But right now, I think it's a matter of us focusing on us. Again, this off-season development, we had to get stronger in that weight room. We had to get, to Sean's point, more athletic in certain things. We had to get our players a lot more comfortable with our scheme before we can start presenting anything to them that way. But as a coaching staff, I think toward the end of the spring is where we'll start really researching these new schools, which are really good programs they're bringing in.
Temple lacrosse traveled down to Delaware to take on the Blue Hens and picked up its third win of the season, winning 9-7. The game was tied after the first quarter, the second quarter, and even the third quarter. But the Owls pulled away in the fourth, picking up 4 goals in the final frame. The Owls were led by Carissa Cross and Belle Mastro Pietro, with each scoring 2 goals in the win.
A trio of Cardinal O'Hara alumni are providing valuable contributions to the success of the Temple lacrosse team. OwlSports Updates' Hayden Bandel is live at the studio set. Hey, Hayden.
Thanks, Meg. Temple lacrosse is one of the better programs on campus. This is the 3rd straight year that the Owls have gotten off to a 3-1 start. Additionally, they have scored over 40 goals for the first 4 games of the season every year since 2020. Of course, preseason All-American Belle Mastro Pietro is a big key to that success. But there are others. Katie Shallow scored her first goal of the season in Temple's Wednesday win over Delaware. Shallow, along with 2 other freshmen, are bringing their same high school success from the Burbs to North Broad. Number 13, Katie Shallow, number 23, Lexi Culp, and number 7, Anastasia Seminaro, all had at least one thing in common well before they came to Temple. They all played lacrosse at Cardinal O'Hara High School.
We started to notice that the Cardinal O'Hara kids were good, and it had a lot to do with their coach.
Coach Jen Duckingfield was in charge at Cardinal O'Hara when all 3 of her current Owls were on the roster.
Her practice and her way of coaching was definitely carried over to my college career so far. She taught me everything I know about lacrosse, pretty much. Coach
Duckingfield's Temple trio has formed a close bond after playing so many years together, and it's getting stronger now that the 3 are at Temple.
We're very close, we hang out all the time. Lacrosse definitely brought us together.
I mean, it was a big transition, but with Katie and Ann and then the rest of the team, they're all so helpful. There was nothing really to worry about. They helped make it really easy.
Cardinal O'Hara is a hot spot for Temple recruits, and you can probably see more of them in the future due to their style of play at the high school level that allows them to smoothly transition into college. As the lone junior and oldest member of the O'Hara trio, Katie Shallow is making the biggest impact this season. She recently won Defensive Player of the Week. As for the 2 freshmen, Anastasia and Lexi, individually, Shallow was an honorable mention for the All-County team, and Seminara and Culp were first-team All-County in their senior seasons. The Cherry and White are looking for their 3rd consecutive 4-1 start, but have a tough battle coming up versus number 17 Princeton this weekend. It's a team Temple is just 1-13 against all time. The game is set for noon on Saturday from Howarth Field. Reporting from the studio set, I'm Hayden Bandel. Matt and Meg, back to you.
Thanks, Hayden. It's time to take our second break of the day. When we come back, the votes are in, and you, the viewers at home, have made your voices heard.
Twitter Talk is coming up on the other side of the break. Don't go anywhere. OwlSports Update will be back in just 90 seconds.
Welcome back. The Claire Smith Center for Sports Media hosts its 11th annual Sports Media Summit this past Friday. The event featured some big names, including one guy who made his trip a homecoming. SportsCenter anchor Max McGee opened the summit. He's a Temple grad and a native of Cherry Hill. He talked about his journey from being a server at Famous Dave's to becoming an anchor at ESPN. The 2015 grad also took questions about the 8 years it took in climbing the ladder to get to where he is now. Another speaker at the event was anchor, host, and author Jameel Hill. She talked about working as a beat reporter for Michigan State University and then eventually joining ESPN in 2006 as a sports journalist and later as an on-air host. There were more than 150 students in attendance, and for Max, it was a chance to say hi to his alma mater.
Well, I'm glad I went to Temple because it prepared me for everything, from learning how to edit and report. Working on my camera presence was huge for me, but also getting the necessary experience to go to the real world and be a true professional. Being able to intern at Fox 29, I got that internship through Temple University, and then once you graduate, you really don't really grasp how big that T is on your resume, because owls are everywhere. And once you see a potential owl come into your newsroom, the nest is huge.
The men's tennis team's 2021-22 season ended with a loss in the first round of conference tournament. After a slow start to the new season, one player and his partner have the Owls ready to make a deeper run. OwlSports Updates' Vartan Sarkisian is live at the Temple Pavilion to tell us more. Hey, Vartan.
Thanks, guys. Yes, Temple hasn't lost a match in the month of February, and a double duo is one of the many reasons why. It's a streak the Owls are hoping to take into the month of March as they eye a run in the conference tournament. It's been a season of streaks for the men's tennis team, starting off with a 2-match losing streak, but following it up with a 5-match win streak. And no one has been hotter than Mahad Delmont. The senior from France has won 60 of his last 75 games. That's 10 straight sets and 5 straight matches.
Because it's my last semester at Temple, so I want to do well. So with my team, I want to finish on a good note.
After losing his first 2 matches against tough opponents, Delma has found some consistency, and with that, some confidence.
We're grinding in practice every morning, and we try to do our best in matches to win as much as possible.
Not only has Mahad Delmas been contributing to the team's success through his singles matches, but he has also been playing a large part in the team's doubles success with his new partner, Greg Barity. One factor that has led to their combined success on the court is their connection off the court.
We knew each other before coming to Temple. We are coming from the same state in France. And just playing together, it's nice because we are close friends.
Delma and Barity have won 31 of their last 40 games in their last 5 matches, and their contribution to the team's success has Coach Steve Morrow looking towards April.
It's getting better and better, and the goal is to win the conference championship.
Cool. One thing is certain, if a conference title is possible, it will likely come through the play of Delma. The Owls know what it's like to get into the conference championship, but advancing is hard. Last season, they were bounced out in the first round. Delma and company have about 8 weeks till they get another shot. I'm Vartan Sarkisian, reporting live from TU Pavilion. Meg and Matt, back to you.
Thanks, Vartan. It's time for my favorite part of the week. Between the shows, we sent out a poll on Twitter where you at home get to vote for our Twitter Talk athletes. It starts with a list of 4 on Twitter, and then you vote it down to 2, and then we take it from there. For this week, you have chosen Zach Hicks and Brooke Donabedian to focus on this edition of Twitter Talk with M&M.
Starting off with Brooke Donabedian, over the weekend she led the Owls to the 4th highest score in program history with her floor routine. I mean, from her fingertips to her toes, every move she makes is so intentional, and she is just so fascinating to watch. She is also such a versatile athlete. Look at her here on the beam. She moves so swiftly and sticks that landing. Brooke also earned her season best mark of 9.925 with her floor routine, receiving that score not only once, but twice in 2 meets in the matter of 2 days apart. That shows that she is consistent in her performance. And being a junior, she has a bright future in leading the Owls for the rest of the season and the season to come.
Absolutely. She has been really one of the most dominant athletes here on campus. Really an impressive weekend for her. For our second pick of the day, as voted by the viewers at home, this player garnered nearly 13% of the vote, and it's none other than Zach Hicks. The sophomore forward played a key role in Temple's win over Tulsa on Sunday. He got the Owls going with a nice mid-range jumper. You're going to see right here. Nice assist there. Get the jumper. There it is. He has been a guy that's been capable of knocking down just about any shot. Most people know this. It seems Tulsa didn't get the message until the game was over. Here he is again. He's about to get a 3 done, drawing the cover, drawing double teams, and you can't leave him wide open. He's gonna knock down this shot. I don't know if the Golden Hurricanes didn't do the tape, watch the tape, but they needed to redo the tape on that one. And here he is again. He's known for a guy that's mostly known for his shooting, but that doesn't mean he can't play defense. Being a pest in the middle all game long for the Golden Hurricane, he finished with 6 rebounds and a season-high 2 blocks in this game.
Well, that's undeniable that he earned that spot this week. That's going to do it for this edition of Twitter Talk. Follow us on Twitter at OwlSports Update, where we'll be putting out our next poll on Thursday, March 2nd. You at home will get to choose your top player out of our 4 options, and the top 2 players will be the subject of our next Twitter Talk.
And it's time for our last break of the day. When we come back, a story of lifelong friends and lifelong teammates on the ice.
OwlSports Update will be back in just 90 seconds.
Welcome back to OwlSports Update. For the Owls on the ice, the club hockey team is coming close to wrapping up its season, and the team will say goodbye to 9 seniors, including Mike Walker and Matt Guinea, who are not only best friends, but lifelong teammates. OwlSports Update's Dan Hoover explains.
Temple Ice Hockey team captain Mike Walker and assistant captain Matt Guinea have not only been lifelong friends, but lifelong teammates.
Him and I always got along real well from the first time we were on Pee-wees together. We were like 9 or 10 years old. We also played in high school together and traveled later on as well, so we always got along.
We've just been best friends ever since that one team that we first made. It was kind of how any friendship starts when you're young. Just like my mom was just like, hey, you should invite that kid over, hang out with you and your friends, and then I did, and then it just kind of all is history from then.
So far, it's been an average season for Temple's club team. 11 wins, 13 losses, and 2 ties. In a way, it's a year of transition with a new coach. This means it's even more important for continuity, which both Mike and Matt bring to the team.
Before this, I was a NCAA assistant coach for 2 seasons, so 3 seasons in total, and this is actually the first time I've ever encountered 2 guys who have been on the same team since that young of an age.
Both Walker and Guinea have plenty of characteristics that shine on and off the ice. However, it is their ability to be a natural-born leader and their chemistry with one another that are really apparent for the rest of the team.
I think when him and I came into college hockey, we were the young kids, so we had a different approach to it. The seniors were a little distant from us, but we wanted to change that because we were close and kind of led the guys to become a closer group together.
The team's senior night took place just over a week ago, with Guinea and Walker being just 2 of 9 seniors leaving the team at the end of the season. Reporting from the Igloo in Mount Laurel, New Jersey, Dane Hoover, OwlSports Update.
Thanks, Dane. We have a packed weekend starting with the women's track team competing at the AAC meet on Friday and Saturday. Friday night, the women's gymnastics team takes on North Carolina, hoping to extend its scoring streak. On Saturday, the men's and women's tennis teams compete against Norfolk State, and the women's basketball team travels to Kansas to play Wichita State. On Sunday, the women's fencing team hosts the Temple Invitational, while gymnastics is back at it, competing against NC State and LIU in New York. That's all the time we have for this week. Coming up next Tuesday at noon, our basketball coverage is back with courts in session.
For the entire OwlSports Update crew, she's Meg Doyle, I'm Matt Lanier. Thank you so much for tuning in from wherever you may be watching, and have a great weekend.